What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another video talking personal finance, precious metals, coins, you name it, how to build wealth, basically. Now, I wanted to talk today about a topic that's on a lot of people's minds. If you are a saver of money or whatever, if you are any type of an investor, if you own a home, if you have anything of value, if you earn probably more than the average salary, you're going to want to listen to this video, and this should be something on everybody's mind. The topic today is the growing calls around the world for a wealth tax. Okay, guys, first off, if you're into this type of stuff, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my website, myroadtowealthandfreedom.com. I go into all sorts of stuff like that. I speak my mind, talk investing, personal finance, savings, all kinds of strategies and stuff that I've used and that I'm pursuing. Okay, so in my last video, I hinted I wanted to do this video talking about a wealth tax. There's more and more growing calls every single day for a wealth tax. Tax the rich, tax the rich. First off, I just kind of want to unpack what really everybody's talking about by saying tax the rich. You know, when we hear tax the rich should pay their fair share. I'm sick of being screwed over by rich people and stuff like that. What are we talking about here? Immediately, what comes to mind, everybody thinks about billionaires. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett. These guys are screwing us. Donald Trump. You know, there's a huge problem with that. And even multimillionaires or people who have hundreds of millions and stuff. The number of billionaires is, I think, worldwide, I don't know, maybe 400 people out of, what, 7.5 billion on Earth. The number of people even making over $1 million a year might be in the tens of thousands in the U.S. Maybe there's 1 million people. I mean, the U.S., the population is like almost 350 million. So that's not a huge amount of people. In Canada, it's even smaller than that. Over in Western Europe and Australia. So I just want to say, first off, that this idea of tax the rich, which seems popular, I know there's growing support. In Canada, we have the Liberal government of Justin Trudeau. They're all about this idealistic, hey, let's just pay everybody money, let's kill our economy, and just print money and pay everybody, and the world will just be a great place without any sort of, there's really nothing to ground these people to reality. And in the U.S., it's looking increasingly likely that there will be a President Biden come next January, and possibly the Democrats will sweep Congress. And again, we hear these wealth taxes and we are going on. There's not enough so-called rich people to tax at the levels that they want to tax that will make any significant dent in their spending or any, like, you know, the deficits that we're running and stuff like that. So if and they know it, I think these guys know it. This is just kind of bait the public, bait the poor working class public into believing that rich people are all the villains and we need to tax them and screw them over. Should rich people pay their fair share? Certainly. Who would argue against that? Nonetheless, like I just said, the reality is I don't believe there's just that many rich people. There's not enough rich people that you're seriously going to tax and get all this money back. But anyways, that's for a whole other debate. The real target in this tax the rich scheme is basically middle class America and middle class Canada. And I am getting sick and tired constantly being bombarded with headlines. The latest, in Canada at least, is from Yahoo Finance. I saw this yesterday. The dream will become a nightmare, Siddle says on wealth inequality. The growing wealth gap between homeowners and renters is an issue that the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation is trying to solve. Why? Why? I've worked hard my entire life to buy a house. I had to save up a down payment. I had to sell. I had a really kick-ass, I shouldn't say that. I had a really kick-ass Jeep back in the day. I had to sell that to make a down payment on my house. I've had to work 2 jobs. I've had to bust my butt, and as I'm sure a lot of people do, to save up the money to buy a house. And then I had to fix that house. I had to pay a mortgage. I had to do all of this stuff. Right, last year I turned 40, and guess what I did? I bought a big screen TV for the first time in my life. I've been to people who make substantially less than I do, and they all have big screen TVs. They all have nice stereos. They all have these souped up cars and all kinds of things. I drive your average car. I don't drive Beamers and Mercedes and stuff. You know, I got a base model Hyundai. So I've sacrificed and saved and distinguished between wants and needs. And what I don't like about this, first of all, this guy works for CMHC. His name is Evan Siddle. He's the CEO of Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation, which was created to basically back, it's an insurance company basically for banks. Banks will give you a mortgage. If you put less than 20% down on a property here in Canada, you need to have this you pay CMHC insurance. Basically, it's, I don't know how much it is, like maybe 3%, 5%, whatever it is. They've changed it over the years. And basically, if that person defaults on their mortgage, it's covered. CMHC pays the bank. So the banks are covered on this. Why they feel they need to wade into this debate, I'm not sure why. So basically, the plan is, why don't we have a capital gains tax on Canadians when they sell their primary residence? Not a secondary residence, not a rental property. Those already exist. We do have to pay capital gains tax on that. And we will levy a capital gains tax on Canadian homeowners while giving renters a tax break. Okay, so I get issues. I pay property taxes. Owning a home is super expensive. There's no free lunch. And here we are. I am super pissed at this tax. Now it's just, they're just floating the idea. Because liberal governments cannot control their spending. They're floating this idea. I want to tax housing, capital gains tax on primary residence. In the U.S., my American friends, I know you guys have capital gains tax whenever you sell your house, but you guys also get to deduct your mortgage payments or their mortgage interest, right? In Canada, we don't get to deduct our mortgage interest. There is no, we have 100% skin in the game when it comes to our homes here for primary residence anyway. So I think this is just a horrible idea. And it's going to screw over a lot of people, even first-time homeowners. Most people get into the market with a little condo or a small starter home, and then they sell to move up. You're going to be screwing those people over. Enough of these crazy left-wing policies. Now, I like to think of myself, I'm sort of tilt more conservative, right-wing, but I'm not a crazy right-wing person. I'm more a fiscal conservative. I care about taxation. I don't like how much they tax here in Canada, and I'm sure my American friends don't like how the government is planning to tax them either. But I do have an issue with just stealing money, which is taxes. We pay so much in tax here in Canada, and you don't need to be rich to pay a lot of taxes. I think if you're making over 50, 60,000 a year, you end up in these higher tax brackets. And the more they say they want to tax the rich, the more it's just coming down on the middle class. And the one asset that the middle class is virtually all in on is their house, their primary residence. That's always the way it is. That's why the housing crash in the States was so bad a few years back. It just basically killed the middle class. And that's what our Liberal government here in Canada is talking about doing. Now to the more broader issue of a wealth tax. It's all over the place. That's one way to tax wealth. But I'm looking at this. A wealth tax on the super rich is within reach. June 18th, 2020. Yeah. And for my American friends, CNBC, coronavirus crisis could see wealth taxes implemented around the world, says economists. Yes, we need to have these crazy wealth taxes because the governments, they couldn't spend within their means. They couldn't practice what the average saver actually does. They just spend recklessly, and they reward those who just get in debt over their head. It's just insane, this whole system. So there's a couple things that I'm concerned about with wealth taxes. In the first part of the video, I was mentioning how I don't like the idea of capital gains tax on primary residences here in Canada. You bet soon enough they're going to be looking at your financial assets. Just like you get a statement with your mortgage at tax time, you're probably going to have to get a statement. They're going to want to see your December or January statement from your bank or your brokerage or whatever to see the value of your assets, financial assets. Now, I don't think if you have $100,000 in financial assets, I don't think they're gonna levy a tax on just the market value, right? Because that fluctuates. The stocks go up and down. They're all over the place. They can go down significantly, as we saw back in March, or they can go up like crazy too, as we saw with the rebound. You just don't know. But do I believe that they might want us to include 50% maybe of our financial assets? You know, what if you have a pension, a company pension? Do they consider that quote unquote wealth to be taxed? I mean, we're already taxed crazy. So that brings me to precious metals. I've been building my position in precious metals for about 20 years, not consistently, in fits and starts. I bought a lot in the early 2000s, and then I stopped. Then I bought a little bit after the gold crash back in 2012, 2013. I bought a little bit here and there, and recently I've been picking up some more, as you guys can see from these videos. One reason I think physical precious metals will probably do well, and why people, even middle-class people, you don't have to be rich to buy a silver coin. One of these maples, I don't know, right now they're probably 30, 40 bucks, $35, $40, depending on the price of silver, depending on where spot goes. You know, that's not a whole lot of money. One of these gold coins, 1 ounce gold coins, you're looking probably about, well, I mean, now gold's kind of gone ballistic, so you're probably looking around 2,700 Canadian dollars, 1,900 US or 2,000 US or whatever. On the face of it, how much money do you have in your RSP or your 401k or your IRA or your tax-free savings? Like, for this coin here, you're looking at the price of a big screen TV right now. How many people, A, already have one, but B, want to get it replaced, want to buy another one? You know, save a little bit, put a little bit of money in some of this stuff. Why? A couple things, a couple reasons. Number one, the government can't trace this. They can't track this. This isn't on a bank balance sheet. It's not going to come on a statement to your house. And it is wealth. And it's one way. I don't advocate tax evasion and stuff like that, but if we're going to be in the crosshairs of nefarious government taxation designed to basically destroy the middle class, I want to have some of this stuff. I want stuff that's out of the system, that's unaccounted for, that nobody knows about. So Anyways, that's my rant. Play it safe, everybody. Be wise. Stay healthy and stay wealthy. If you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and check out my website, myroadtowealthandfreedom.com, for more of my thoughts on personal finance, building wealth, precious metals, and all that good stuff. That's it. Take care, guys.